Hello and welcome to Northside NOW. This is the podcast where your lovable hosts take you on a tour through all of the ministries and the latest happenings around Northside Church to keep you better connected with your church family. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick, and with me as always are my two wonderful co-hosts, Glenn Miller and Kevin Bryant. What's up, guys?
Present.
Hello.
Did you always that kid in school that would go present?
No, I always did the here.
Roll. Yeah, here. Me too.
Say present.
How long did it take roll in your class, Patrick?
It didn't.
Probably about an hour for everybody to kind of get together and
get down.
We're talking about how long I rolled around the room.
So we are here. Woohoo!
present.
We are presented. Well, we're glad you're with us. So thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us for a little while.
Yeah, use your blinker if you're listening in the car.
Yes.
Please.
Turn signals, please.
Very important.
And stay in the lines.
What happens when your vehicle turn signals are not working?
You're supposed to use your arm.
That's true.
Keep your arms inside the ride at all times.
Yeah. You're supposed to use your arm. What is it? Right, left, and is it down or up?
Down is stop, I think.
Down is
Yes,
stop.
down is
Up
stop.
is right.
Up is right.
Yeah.
Out is
left.
left.
Straight
It's
out.
been a long time since I had to worry about that.
Yeah, so we've been having some vehicle trouble.
Have you?
That's one of the things that's not working right now.
Do you have a Tesla?
No.
Because they're having all kinds of. Have you seen that lately?
No.
They're Tesla's struggling right now. They're having some major issues. They're having a lot of wrecks and stuff, and so they're maybe having to go back to the drawing board. I saw.
Well, I've heard of some
recently
with the I forget the name of the feature. It's not autopilot, but the self-driving part of it.
It's the self-driving part.
But I haven't heard any of that recently, so
Don't buy a Tesla if you don't.
Okay.
Unless you want to drive it.
I don't have the spare coinage right now. But I really have thought about an electric vehicle, and
Well, eventually they're all going to go electric. It'll be the only option.
well, they're definitely very computerized now anyway, regardless of which
totally,
car that you have. And I was just listening to an ad on the radio this morning about, I think they were talking about the Mercedes van line, Sprinter or whatever. And the extra features they listed about rear collision avoidance, lane maintain assist. I mean, all these different things that
I will say, honestly, though, Nissan is the company that's like...
Is it?
At the forefront of all of that, because they were smart enough ahead of time, like when Google and Tesla and everybody were building theirs. Nissan built theirs with the option to be able to manually drive it as well. And so then when they passed the law that they had to have that option, like Tesla and Google and all these other people that were building their computerized cars had to go back to the drawing board, but Nissan was already like doing that, so they didn't have to redo anything. So their cars are actually like a bit ahead of the curve from everybody else's. So
Well, it's crazy. My F-150 has all these crazy sensors on it and all this stuff. Well, the other night, about 10:45, my alarm was going off. So Chief and I are defending our property. So we run outside and we're going to take care of this. Nothing.
running around out there in his cowboy boots and his underwear.
Yeah, I wish I'd even put
What,
boots on.
Chief? Chief was doing that?
Yeah, he was fired up.
Okay.
So anyways, again, about 5 till midnight, same thing happens.
Wow.
And so we go to battle once more and nothing. Come to find out, I am almost certain, because I did some reading on some car forums. Come to find out, I think it was 2 flies that were trapped inside, and there are sensors on the inside. So things are, I guess it's one, maybe protection for someone getting in, but 2, if you were to leave a kid in there, that them moving around would. So I had to change the sensitivity
Very
on my
interesting.
inside sensors. So because you can do that in your settings on your app for your truck.
Wow.
Good to know.
And you can do that while you're sitting on your couch, though, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just-
Yeah, it's funny.
That is convenient, I must say.
It's not convenient at 10:45 at night for that thing to be going off, though. I've almost had a heart attack. I was like, "Who is in my?" That all of a sudden someone's in my truck. What's going on? It was kind of weird, but yeah, 2 flies. Chief was ready to go.
So
to battle
one
with 2
fly
flies.
wouldn't have passed the sensor test.
I've
It just
never-
had to be 2.
But the one guy,
Maybe they were just having a real big party in there.
well,
That's
the guy that put that up, maybe even think about that or look for it. He had a moth in his. He had a moth that.
Moth's a little bigger. That
It's
makes
a little
sense.
bigger, yeah. So I guess 2 flies had to be bigger.
There's been a biblical plague of moths outside of our apartment
Really?
the
There's
last few
There's
nights.
a bunch at our house too.
Like, seriously, like a swarm. Like, I've had to bat my way through them to get to my door. I took a can of Raid. I used like an entire can of Raid just out there trying to kill as many as I could. Now like the whole ground is just littered with the corpses of the moths.
Oh, wow.
First it was birds.
I know something's going on out there.
That's paranormal activity right
really
there.
is.
You're getting a message from the Lord over there.
Probably.
Let his people go.
Yeah.
Let his people go, Patrick. Well, we're joined today by Yakko Matamoros back in the podcast room. Good to have you there, Yakko.
Hey guys, how are you? Are you doing okay? Thank you for having me.
Doing awesome.
Doing great.
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Oh, muy bien, gracias, Patrick. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Okay.
Very good, Patrick. You did well.
Maybe we should do the podcast in Spanish. You know?
Lo siento, no hablo español.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't know half of what we said. I
have
can
to go a
read
little
Spanish
slower.
better. Yeah, really slow. We're glad you're here. And you were one of our first staff people that we ever interviewed and ever had in on the podcast. So we're glad to have you back.
Thank you. That made me feel very special.
It's because you're one of our favorites.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Don't tell everybody else we said that.
Okay, I won't.
But we are disappointed you didn't bring Squeaky with you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, his cookie has been sick lately. But right now, there is a dinosaur.
Oh,
There's
yes.
a dinosaur, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, see if you'd seen that.
Does he do more than Squeaky?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know, like 50 sounds and
wow.
movements. Like, yeah.
He's got some headphones you can put on him, and when you put his headphones on, he break dances.
No way.
Really?
So,
His nickname is B-Rex. He's the balloon T-Rex, so
Yeah.
it's B-Rex.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, not heard previous episodes, Squeaky is a balloon dog that is, I don't know if you'd call him intelligent, moves around. It's not actually balloons made out of plastic and whatnot, but looks like a balloon dog, just like you'd make, and pretty entertaining.
And now they have a dinosaur version.
T-Rex,
Yeah.
T-Rex.
And they had something else too, don't they?
well, there's kind of different animals. I think it was like a rabbit too,
A rabbit,
or something
okay.
like that. But
Yeah.
but the Squeaky is the one.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
the original.
So
OG.
do you have the dinosaur one yet?
No, not yet. But Chelsea, if you are listening to the podcast for Christmas,
Everybody send in your donations to...
That would be cool. Well, I hope you get one so we can play with it.
yes, please. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, Yakko, how are things going with the Vine Ministry and ESL and all those great things you oversee? I know COVID and everything kind of slowed everything down, but we're back kind of going. So tell us a little bit about your zones there.
Oh yeah, I mean ESL classes. Well, ESL stands for English as a Second Language. So yeah, we're back in business. We're here every Tuesday now, from
Okay.
5:30 to 7 o'clock. We're having right now 4 classes, so that's good. We're having new students, but right now one of our classes is about the citizenship class. We're helping some of our students getting prepared for their test.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So right now we're doing that. In the past we serve 8 students to become a citizens. So it's been so good. We have
How many John Wayne films do they have to watch?
Wayne.
Oh my gosh, who's that guy? I have no idea.
Clint Eastwood? No.
Oh yeah, Clint Eastwood. Yes.
How many Clint Eastwood films do they have to watch
Oh, my
before they're
gosh.
American?
Yeah. I don't know, but probably lots. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in a good spot.
yeah.
I think getting back to the normal, obviously we're taking precautions,
Sure.
but it's been so good. So, we still have our students from Brazil, from Honduras, from Mexico. So yeah, we're in a good spot right now, in a good place.
That's really good. So do you have someone coming to help them work on their citizenship tests and things, or is there an online program, or are you doing that, or because you went through that whole process too?
Yes. Well, I just gave them the input. I mean, what to expect. But every situation is different. It depends up to the person that is giving you the interview. So in my case, my interview lasted 10 minutes.
Okay.
But sometimes like 30. It depends. But we have one of our volunteers is helping them. We have all the questions. And we help them, to learn and, stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a thing I haven't thought about in a long time. I've had some friends who've become citizens, but I'd be interested to hear just a little bit more about the process. Obviously, you have to know a lot about the country and the laws and the Constitution and things like that. But there's an interview and there's describe that process just a little bit, because it's not real easy. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it's a very difficult process. First you need to apply for a green card. And then after that, a green card, you can apply after, I think it's 5 years, you can apply to become a citizen, or you can renew your green card. It's up to you. But yeah, you have your immunizations, backgrounds and stuff like that. And then you have the interview. And yeah, they ask you about the American history. They give you 100 questions and they ask you 10.
Wow.
And you can miss two questions out of the 10.
I guarantee I would fail that test.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. A lot of Americans that were born here don't know, even that much. So that's why I find it, it's a challenging process.
Yes, it is. But, if you have the desire, it's like,
sure,
okay, you do it, But to me, the hardest part is when they ask you, you need to give up every feelings that you have about your country of origin and play allegiance to America, to this country.
Yeah. Right.
That was the question that is like, so I'm not going to say just for the sake of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to mean it.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while, but then, okay, my kids, they're in this country.
Right.
My wife is from here. My friends, my family are from here.
Right.
Yeah.
So after all this, stuff like that, it was easier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day you were sworn in or whatever. I mean, you and the vow or oath that you had to take. I remember saying, I disavow the flag and everything of my home country stood for. And I thought, if everybody that lived here did that, or even just heard those vows, I mean, I think that ought to be studied in school very strongly, because it probably is better than so many others, what it means to be a part of this country and have the freedoms you have. So
yeah, and and not to take it for granted.
Yeah,
right.
And we've been very blessed with my family, my kids, not to take stuff for granted. The education that you have in here, the opportunities, and we're so thankful. We're so thankful. That is a word.
yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest issues when I think about our kids too, and just thinking about our life here in the United States. And so many times I feel like many people just feel entitled. This is my right, and come serve me. And we always try and teach our kids is that it's not just a given. You do have to work for things that you get, and you should earn them. It shouldn't just be handouts. And when I've talked to so many my friends in school, international students, maybe weren't citizens but studying here, and you really gained an appreciation for the desire people have to work hard and to earn things. And that was really, I think, a good reminder for me that don't take it for granted, because you may not always even have it. And so you should never take those things for granted. And I think that's true for us as Christ followers too. So many places, even here in the United States, but around the world, it's not a given that if you're a Jesus follower, you will even be alive. It's, it's dangerous. And it's, when you are called to put your faith on the line, you start to realize, okay, what do I really believe? And am I willing to, die for it or suffer for it? I think that's all good for us to think about at some point.
Oh, definitely. And so you're also leading a Bible study on Wednesday nights. And so where do y'all study, and how's that going?
Well, right now we have this book is called Don't Give Up by Kyle Edelman.
Yeah.
And it's been so good, it calls you like get out of your comfort zone. It's like, okay, you need to go and you are not alone. And it's based on Hebrews 11 and 12 that talks about the cloud of witnesses that they are cheering up for you. Like, hey, I can imagine Moses like, you can do it, Yakko. Don't give up. stuff like that. So it's really neat. It's been a learning process. I've been so blessed, but also I feel like out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to do it, because, I found this spot in my life that, okay, God, you can use me. Use me. And God is like, okay, I want you to lead this Bible study. I say, oh no, something else. Yeah, I can do something else, but no, it's like, God, well, you're asking me. So this is the thing that I want you to do. And I'll prepare you for that.
Not only are you leading a Bible study on Wednesday nights, you, along with a couple of other leaders, have started a brand new Sunday school class, which we talked about a couple of episodes ago with Rev D about, it's a class for people with young children, young adults, and that kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about that class.
Yeah, it's really good. I've been growing, and it's been painful sometimes, because, sometimes you feel like, okay, I feel very comfortable doing this, and I can serve you, God, in this area. And God is like, no, I want you to do something else, and I'll be with you. I don't want you to think that you're doing this in your own strength.
Yeah.
You're weak, and I'm here for you. So we're doing this kind of stuff right now. Chuck Jones is co-teaching with me, and Becca Sage. And it's really good because it gives you a different perspective. We are rotating teachers. So, it's been so good. We send text messages every day in the morning. We take turns.
That's cool.
And say, hey, don't give up. I'm praying for you. And knowing that somebody's taking their time just praying for you, like God help them, it's really neat.
Yeah. How's your response been to that? Are people like, this is awesome? Or, are you getting good responses from that? Are you getting people really reacting to that daily input into their life?
Oh, yes. It's been so good. People is very excited about it. And, we know that it's not about the numbers, but, we had 36, 32 people, and they're all in, okay, we're going to do this. Yes, it's very uncomfortable. We don't feel like, oh, but God is putting in my heart to do it. So, okay, God, here I am, use me. So yeah, we're encouraging each other,
Good.
So yeah, it's been good. Something I want to say, you start with your family.
Yeah.
And we gave to our families, and in our Sunday school class, some stickers, you can write down stuff. I just put in, wherever. And I did that to my kids, in their lunches, lunch boxes. They open and it's like, oh, I love you. And now Violet is doing the same with Jude and Max. Jude, you're sweet. I'm praying for you.
That's great.
That's cool.
Good, so.
Yeah. So did you see a need in the church, or did a group of people come to you and say, hey, we're parents with small children and we don't really have a place. How did the class develop?
Okay, so I've been praying lately, but not lately. I've been praying about, okay, God, what do you want me
Congratulations.
to do? Thanks, Lynn. So it's like, okay, God, use me, I think I need to grow. It's time for me to let go being in my bubble. So it's like,
yeah, but that bubble's so comfortable, isn't it? Don't you just love being in that bubble?
Yeah, it's warm and cozy.
It is.
But and I felt like God is like, well, Sunday school class, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I feel very comfortable teaching in Spanish, no, not in English. And I said, maybe not right now, God. I don't feel prepared for that. And then we were hanging out with some of our friends from Northside, and they said, hey, there is a need about Sunday school class, with parents with younger kids. I said, yes, you're exactly right. It's like, maybe you should teach the class. They say that to me, and I was like, oh, what about you? Maybe you should teach the class. So, so we pray about it, and that's how all this started,
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yes, and again, I just keep it real. And I told our students, I feel very uncomfortable, but God is equipping me. He's preparing this, and I think we need to be open and be clear about it,
Yeah. Are y'all using the Never Give Up or Don't Give Up curriculum as well, or the book as well?
Yes, and I really like it so much because at some point, Kyle says, sometimes we need a Mr. Rogers. in our lives, like everything is fine. Welcome to the neighborhood. You are loved, and okay, thank you, Mr. Rogers. But sometimes we need the guy from Braveheart. Don't give up. It's not time for you to remain in your seat. You need to move, and that also is encouragement.
Yeah.
So sometimes we need a Mr. Rogers, but sometimes we need Wallace.
William Wallace.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's good, and I've been saying, well, suck it up, Buttercup. You need to move on, And I think God, His time is perfect, and He's just moving. He's moving His Spirit in here, and it's like, okay,
So class, if Yakko walks into the class one day with war paint and a kilt on, get ready.
And a cardigan.
And a cardigan.
Sweater.
Oh, yeah.
If he starts changing his shoes.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
It's gonna be
But, Mr. Rogers, I learned about Mr. Rogers when Max was little. It's like, who's Mr. Rogers, and he was very sweet. That man was super sweet.
Yeah.
And, and then it's Daniel Tiger, this a TV show. It's Daniel Tiger now.
Yeah.
So all the songs, stuff like that. But in Mexico, we had the Mexican version of Mr. Rogers. And he was creepy.
What was his name?
Scary.
What was his name?
Tio Gamboin, like Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe.
But it's like Tio Gamboin. And he was scary, man. And my mother is like, sit down and watch the TV show. Watch the man. I said, no, I'm afraid. It was scary. But now that and then once I was here, and I heard about Mr. Rogers, I told my friends in Mexico, there is a version in here, it's the original version. And they watch some YouTube videos about Mr. Rogers. Like, oh, he's so sweet. He's not the scary one, but it's neat. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think there was a Captain Kangaroo.
Yes.
Was when I was a kid too. There was
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers and Captain
I remember
Kangaroo.
that.
Really?
And Cousin Toonie was here in Jackson, and she had a similar show.
That was a little before my time.
Yeah.
I watched Mr. Rogers, but I never really watched Captain Kangaroo.
I saw
or
Captain Kangaroo when I was
Cousin Toonie.
little.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and I'd say I didn't in Dallas or that area. You didn't have Cousin Toonie. She was more of a local thing.
Right.
I think Captain Kangaroo. Did he ever go? He was nationwide.
Yeah,
right?
he was nationwide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty neat. You might be the next Mr. Rogers or Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, we got to get Yakko his own TV show.
Yeah, I should do something about with balloons.
Oh, we
Yes.
could definitely get you a YouTube channel.
Well, there's a guy. You said there was a guy wanting to put you on YouTube. There you go.
Yeah.
That's your end.
We
You're
can do
it.
something like that.
This is God calling you right now, Yakko.
Yeah, to do that.
To minister on YouTube.
Get out of your bubble. Get on YouTube.
Well, you should join me. Let's do this together.
Ooh, we could be puppets.
Yes.
That would be great.
No.
I could do that. Yeah.
So, but I think it feels so good when somebody is like, I have you back.
Yeah.
Chuck Jones, like, I have you back. And Becca too. And I think it's how the Holy Spirit works.
Definitely.
Like, I got you. You don't have to be worried. Trust me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you just totally explain that perfect example of when God calls you to do something, He's going to prepare you. And a lot of times in my life, I didn't even know I was prepared or even wasn't prepared, but He was doing it kind of before my eyes. So, and that is, it really ties into some of the things that Pastor Kevin's been talking about when it comes to fear versus courage. And we're really called to do things that are bold. And, you could argue that maybe none of us is really in our own power able to do it on our own. So it's a perfect example of what being a Jesus follower really is all about.
Yeah, completely.
But I think a good point to that is you were in your bubble and you had to pop that bubble and get out of your comfort zone. You didn't just stay there. When you were called, you actually have to take that leap of faith and get out of your comfort zone and trust that he'll help you out, or he'll put people in there to help you and equip you. So
yeah, and I read, I don't remember if it was Bob Goff or Mark Batterson says, if you're looking for an excuse, you will always find an excuse.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But if you are looking for an opportunity to grow, you're gonna find it for sure. And I think it's that seeking God, okay, guys, knowing that it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, but it's not impossible because God is with you.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's true of so many things. I remember used to using a similar statement for exercise. You know, I can find a million reasons not to take care of my temple, you know, but there's, you know, is an opportunity to stay healthier, and it's still a lot easier to make those excuses. So,
Oh yeah.
So that's good stuff. Well, cool. Well, you spoke of balloons. So how's your balloon life going?
Oh, it's been so good. You know, let me tell you something. I have a friend that she's from Russia. And, you know, she's been giving me tips, like how to do more stuff, cool stuff. So, and I shared with her about the Sunday school class, you know, because in the first Sunday school class, we use balloons, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and I told her about it. And she's like, how you include God with balloons? I think that's kind of strange. So when I told her, you know, balloons that are from different sizes, different colors, but, you know, each balloon has a purpose. And the same with God. And she was like, oh, and you know, sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time you have to string the balloon so it won't pop easily because of the pressure, you know. And sometimes you need to make some twists to the balloon, you know. And the balloon, yeah, it hurts, but it's necessary, you know, to have a form. I said the same happened with us. God is twisting us. Okay, you can do this. This is the shape that I want you to have, you know. And she was like, you know what? I'm not in church. I don't think I have a good relationship with God, but this is very helpful. So imagine just using balloons, talking to my friend, you know, that she speaks Russian. I speak Spanish, and we use English to share the love of Christ, you know. So God works in very mysterious ways, you know, but it's very, very neat.
That is very cool.
Yeah, you know, and again, I think as getting older, I can see it's like, oh, my aha moments. Like you said, Kevin, you know, like I had no idea that God was preparing me for, and I was like, oh, I understand.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see this, you know, with balloons or coming here for the first time working at camp, you know, it's like, God was preparing me for a time like this, you know.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that time like this. I was listening to another podcast recently, and the people brought up, oh, I hate that our kids are having to grow up in this. I hate that my kids are having to grow up in this world and da-da-da-da. And the guy that was listening and answering the question just said, hey, you know, I get it, but the world's always had a crazy to it. And we got to remember scripture where God says all of us, including your kids, were made for a time like this. And so we need to quit worrying about that a little bit. And I know it's hard to do, but you know, God will equip our kids just like he did any of our ancestors to follow him and to do his will in this world. So again, it goes back to that trusting of God, and are we going to allow him to push us across the Niagara on a wheelbarrow?
Right.
You know? So,
Right.
Yeah, that was that during all the pandemic at the beginning, that was my Bible verse for such a time like this.
Yeah.
And I
that's
told
good.
Chelsea, what a blessing to be living these times, you know?
Yeah.
And God is faithful.
Yeah. We're sitting in an air conditioned room and it's raining outside, but it's not raining on our heads right now. So we were all getting to talk about Jesus. There's not a whole lot wrong with all of that. So
There's worse places we could be.
the worst places we could be. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks, Yakko, for dropping by and hanging out with us again. It's always awesome to have you here. And next time, I hope you're able to bring the dinosaur guy with you.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So, we'll see. But thank you, guys. Thank you so much for all you're doing. God bless you, and you're in our prayers.
Well, thank you for all that you do. You're in our prayers as well.
Well, thank you.
Well, Patrick, I don't think we have a lot of announcements, but green sheets are not over yet.
Nope, they're going through the end of August. So make sure you fill out the green sheets. If you go to northsidejackson.com, there's a little button that pops up and it follows you everywhere you go. So make sure you click that.
And if you listen to Rev Kev's sermon this past Sunday, he's encouraging us all to sign up and get busy. So Make sure you fill out those green sheets before the end of the month. And if you forget or something you can always do it later.
Yeah.
Like Patrick said,
and also check out the website for all the other events going on. Stay connected.
Yeah. So
for sure.
A good resource for us now. Our website is great.
Yes.
So thank you, Patrick.
It's a work in progress.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Well, guys, thanks for podcasting with me. And thanks to all of you out there in the world for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Northside Now Podcast. Go to our website, northsidejackson.com, or email us at podcast@northsidejackson.com. We hope to hear from you soon. Once again, I'm Patrick.
I'm Glenn.
And I'm Kevin.
And that's what's happening at Northside Now.
Bye-bye.